My name is Jorge Hilt, and the title of this research is Effect of Leadership and Burnout on Leadership Outcomes. The leadership of the educational director is important to the growth and well-being of faculty members. A recent Scholar Google research on educational leadership returned 534,000 results. This shows the importance of this topic in educational institutions. Research in the educational field focuses on the power of principals as leadership who can transform school culture for the benefit of educators and students alike. In this sense, leadership and burnout are two topics that have gained great interest in recent decades due to the effect they can have on the performance of organizations. The burnout concept refers to the response to prolonged work stress caused by conflicted interaction between the individual and their job. In turn, leadership refers to the management skills that an individual has to influence the way of being or acting of people or in a work group, making this team work enthusiastically toward the achievement of its goals and objectives. In this sense, leadership could be considered as a variable that would prevent burnout and increase the result of the organization. The objective of this study was to compare the direct effect of two leadership styles on the extra effort, satisfaction, and effectiveness of teachers in SDA educational institutions and the indirect impact when the burnout acted as a mediating variable. This picture shows us the interaction between these three variables. The methodology used in this study was quantitative, explanatory, non-experimental, ex post facto, descriptive, cross-sectional, and correlational. The study population consisted of 325 teachers who work in Atlantic Union Association of Seventh-day Adventists. The study was carried out on a convenience sample of 231 teachers. Two instruments was used in this study. First, a multi-factor leadership questionnaire by Bass and Abolio, and a Malash Burnout Inventory Scale by Malash et al. The results show us that the distribution of the respondents by sex was observed that 24% were male and almost 62% were female. The distribution of teachers according to age, it is observed that the average age was 46 years and the minimum age was 26 years and the maximum age was 65 years. The distribution of participants by grade teaching showed us that the grade 6 to 8 was the more frequent with 81 teachers. The distribution of participants by study grade showed us that the 115 have master's degree. The hypothesis one declared that the empirical model in which transformational leadership has a direct effect on outcome of leadership, specifically in 3 dimensions: extra effort, satisfaction, and effectiveness, an indirect effect on it mediated by burnout, has an acceptable goodness of fit relative to the theoretical model among educators at the Atlantic Union Conference of CIDIA in 2021. The hypothesis 2 declared that the empirical model in which passive leadership has a direct effect on outcome of leadership, an indirect effect on it mediated by burnout, has an acceptable goodness of fit relative to the theoretical model among educators at the Atlantic Union Conference of CIDIA in 2021. 6 parameters of goodness of fit indices was selected by this study: chi-square, goodness of fit index, comparative goodness of fit index, Tucker-Lewitt index, adjusted goodness of fit index, normalized fit index, and root mean square residuals. This picture shows us the hypothesis test number 1. This structural equation model showed that transformational leadership have a negative effect on burnout, a positive effect on outcome, especially in extra effort, effectiveness, and satisfaction. All indexes show us that this structural equation model have an excellent goodness of fit. This picture shows us the hypothesis test number 2, in which passive leadership have a positive effect in burnout and negative effect on outcome of leadership. The goodness of fit of each index are good, very good. This picture shows us a summary of hypothesis 1, and this picture shows us a summary of hypothesis test number 2. About the discussion, compared with the result of other previous investigations, some empirical studies show a link between transformational leadership and higher level of result of leadership, both in education and other fields. Additionally, Hilt found a significant relationship between leadership and outcome of leadership in 3 dimensions: extra effort, effectiveness, and satisfaction in European primary and secondary teachers. Other author, Abdullah et al., in a study with Asian teachers and principals, found a relationship between leadership and outcome of leadership among those teachers. This current study found that burnout harm outcomes of leadership. Trusk and Bauer concur in their finding that 46.24% of the variation of teacher leadership outcomes is explained by the variation in burnout. Other author, Khan et al., also analyzed the effect of transformational leadership on burnout and behavior of social loathing at work. A mediation model was the intervention testing this relationship, and a statistical relationship was found between the variables. The beta standardized estimate for their model was equal to 13. In conclusion, transformational leadership can decrease teacher feeling of burnout, while passive leadership increases it. On the other hand, burnout is a significant mediator with a negative impact on leadership outcome in this study population. The recommendations of this study are the following: to promote the practice of transformational leadership among school principals, develop a leadership class or ongoing training that helps directors improve their transformational leadership, carry out a similar study using a different population. Other variables that could influence the model should be included, like work environment, teacher commitment, teacher motivation, among others. Thank you very much.